はい。
Welcome to episode 9 of Yuzuru Hanyu is my emergency contact, the FanyuFanme podcast. Before we get started, let's get one thing out of the way. Yuzu's coming back! We're all going to get to see him this week. We're going to get a new short program, a new costume, and new hair. Yuzu! Okay, just had to get that out of my system. More on all that later. But first, I hope everyone has frozen any extra cake they had left over from Yuzu's birthday. I figure Yuzu has probably just now gotten to his birthday wishes from the Eastern time zone on Twitter. And I mean from his 26th birthday, because Yuzu is efficient, but that has still got to take some serious time to scroll through. Keep going, Yuzu. You gotta see the butter-sculpted version of you. In this episode, since we know Yuzu has a lot going on, we're going to give him a little break and focus on what everyone else is doing for him. Whether it's your average Fanyu or perhaps an entire country. This first post was written during the injury-inflicted Yuzu radio silence after Rostelecom in 2018. So don't get confused about the length of the Yuzu radio silence. Believe me, I know we've been waiting much longer than 20 days to see Yuzu again. Much longer.
せーの。
I wish I was under the protection of Japan. It has now been 20 days since Yuzu fell. 20 days since Yuzu still won the competition by a landslide. 20 days since Yuzu used crutches to hop onto the winner's podium after first practicing backstage with a folding chair. Clonme posted that video to my Facebook page. Not gonna lie, I cried. And 20 days since he waved to the crowd, shouted "Arigatou gozaimashita," and poof! Gone. Gone! Not just sorta gone, not just mostly out of the public eye unless you were really looking gone. Gone. Not even on a 7-year-old girl's Instagram. Gone. How does he do that? My theory? One word. Japan. I am convinced that there is literally an army of people whose sole assignment in life is to hide Yuzu. There can be no other explanation, except of course for that whole "he's really animated" thing, in which case he just gets rolled up into a FedEx tube and carried discreetly on and off airplanes between competitions. I believe these Hanyu guards are trained, funded, and meticulously monitored by Japan. When Yuzu wants to disappear, they are his David Copperfield. They throw a blanket over him, make a self-congratulatory joke, smile and wink at the camera, and then pull off the blanket to reveal that Yuzu has vanished like the Statue of Liberty. He gets from Russia to Japan to Canada with 0 sightings. Have I mentioned that the Toronto airport code is YHZ? Last I checked, none of those letters are in Toronto. Yet they do feature heavily in another, particularly attractive, proper noun. Don't even get me started on what Japan had to do with that. How else can it be possible for someone this famous to come and go from airports and venues and doctors and homes without anyone knowing? It's not. People know. But protective Big Brother Japan has sworn to deck anyone who bullies his beloved little bro Yuzu on his way to school. There is no way for him to leave Japan without being recognized. In fact, I imagine that whenever Yuzu does leave Japan, the lights all dim a little and the island sinks about a foot further into the ocean from sheer depression. He could maybe get into Canada fairly unidentified, but that's because the further west you get, the dumber people get regarding who they value as their celebrities. Miley Cyrus? Channing Tatum? Seth Rogen? Need I go on? Oh wait, one more. Pink. Now there is a character I wish would bite it in a flying show. For another thing, you cannot conceal Yuzu's Yuzu-ness. There's a reason you can spot him on a rink full of skaters, also wearing all black, because if Yuzu does it, it must make you skate better, right? Even as a tiny black speck in an ocean of black specks, you can tell that one is Yuzu. Even when not on the rink, Yuzu is still Yuzu. Mask? Still obviously you, Yuzu. Baseball cap? Points for rarity, but still obviously you, Yuzu. Glasses? This only draws us to you more, Yuzu. It's a known fact. Yuzu with glasses is like Yuzu to the 10th power. You're only amplifying your Yuzu signal. Face it, it's simply not possible for an incognito Yuzu to exist. Some type of Japanese magic is obviously in play. All this to say, I would love my own type of magical protection like Yuzu's. Just think how sugoi it would be to have readily available. Made a mistake on a report at work? Poof! Screwed over by your insurance company? Poof! Need to clean the bathtub? Poof! And no questions asked. Just one seamless, perfectly executed disappearance until you are good and ready to face the world again. This is not to say I think Yuzu has it made. Quite the opposite, in fact. The only actual answer to this phenomenon, aside of course from the Hanyu guards, which I really do believe is a thing, is that Yuzu can go nowhere, and even introverts don't want to feel trapped. However, what is most amazing about the disappearing act is that it in no way causes the Fanyu love to wane. In fact, it seems to grow. Someone should really come up with a quote about how people start to like things more once they're not present for a while. For example, this month was Yuzu's birthday. Ever since it hit midnight in Japan, change the day, add 2, daylight savings, social media has been flooded by Fanyus celebrating and sending their good wishes. This isn't like when Facebook pokes your friends, acquaintances, and stalkers and tells them it's your birthday, so they post a half-hearted HB on your wall. These are drawings and videos and special dinners and cakes and bound books of birthday wishes that have been planned and worked on for the entire year. The Istanbul fans are sending you this package of presents. I made a batch of cupcakes with each cupcake decorated to represent one of your costumes from the past 12 years. We've all gathered at this hibachi in Prague to eat with chopsticks for your birthday. I wrote your name in the snow. No, not like that. I don't think. I'm sculpting a life-size you out of butter. It's been going strong for nearly 24 hours. The best part about it, Yuzu is nowhere. Everyone might as well be wishing happy birthday to air. And they do it every single year. Does Yuzu acknowledge it? No. Does Yuzu see most of it? Doubtful. But that changes nothing. These people are diehards, and it's important to them, so I'm not going to judge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go buy more butter.
完成です。
Full disclosure, I haven't ever actually sculpted Yuzu out of butter. But I have to admit that after joking about it for long enough, it has started to cross my mind to attempt it. Though it might be more fitting to try to do it out of Ghana chocolate. Look out, Chocolate Santa, you've got some serious competition coming from Chocolate Yuzu, packaged in gold leaf, of course. But back to Yuzu's incomprehensible level of unattended celebrity. Despite all of the uncertainty this season, the Fanyus were still excited. We're always excited. We self-maintain excitement whether Yuzu is doing anything or not. Then sometimes he joins the party, and it's just that much better. And he's joining the party soon! Yuzu! See what I mean? Always excited. His level of celebrity is seriously so high that he can just say, you know what? I'm working on something. Go on without me. And the Yuzu machine keeps going as if he were skating or standing in front of a white wall at that very moment. His identity is so dynamic that he doesn't even have to be a present human to be universally adored. And I love this for him. Don't bother with the self-promotion, Yuzu. We will happily keep this love fest for you rolling. You just keep focusing on the important things, like landing the quad axle and deciding at which angle your hair should be combed for a rondo. And as we approach the first competition week in quite some time for us Fanyus, it doesn't hurt to remind us of all the things on our Fanyu To Do List.
せーの。
Being a Fanyu is not for the faint of heart. And I don't mean in the I can't handle the criminally handsome Yuzu kind of way. I mean in a logistics and stamina kind of way. Let's look at the superhuman skills the Fanyus must possess in order to watch Yuzu do his superhuman things, also known as the things we do for Hanyu. Time conversion savant. I've talked about it before. The whole add a day, carry the one, of course depending on what time zone you're in. Granted, if you live in a time zone which is just a couple hours different from the competition, your base value decreases. And if you happen to live in the same time zone where it is happening, I say to you, why the heck are you watching this on TV? Get yourself to that rink! But for some of us, the time conversion can get quite complex. Many times I have found myself asking, what day is this even actually happening for me? And just when you think you've got your days and hours all converted, carried, and landed, they go and throw daylight savings time into the mix. Mercifully, there are Fanyus who create entire spreadsheets for guidance. Date and time countdowns are created, and suddenly your laptop looks like a NASA launch countdown screen. T-minus 16 hours to blaze. Resource archaeologist. Now you know when to watch Yuzu, but you don't know where. If time conversion was the single axle, resource archaeology is easily a double. Time is time. No one owns it. Footage is another thing entirely. Footage originating in another country? Okay, so maybe this is actually more like a triple axle. This isn't 90210 we're talking about. You don't just sit down on your couch with a bowl of popcorn, flip to the right TV channel, and enjoy. This is a battle. A battle where you are way too on edge to consider eating popcorn. Days in advance, possible links start to surface. And these aren't www.watchyuzuhere.com links. These are long sequences of numbers and letters with no rhyme or reason. One number wrong, and you're not watching the stream from that guy's basement in China. Again, I say, bless him. No, you're looking straight into the sad eyes of the broken robot face or pixelated dinosaur, which have become the universal signs of no Yuzu for you. The Fanyus don't even pretend to have this all figured out. And that's why the list grows and grows as you get closer to the competition. Your best hope is to gather those links like Easter eggs and store them all away in a basket until the real hunt begins. And trust me, you're gonna need them all, even the gross circus peanut textured ones. Stream jumper. This isn't nearly the nature-loving activity it sounds like. In fact, it's quite sedentary. This aspect of Fanyuism calls for some serious nerves of steel. Once you've gathered all the possible links, you need to organize them. For the last Japan Nationals, I had one document where I compiled all the options in chronological order. The draw will be on this geo-blocked link, so I'll need to use the VPN. The short program practice will be on this link. If Yuzu attends, we'll get to that part later. And it doesn't need the VPN. The short program is here, or here, or here, or here. Or when the time comes, maybe I'd have the best chance just using binoculars and looking out my window in the general direction of Japan. But the real skill comes in juggling all these options at once. When the time approaches, you have to get them all open, pull the slot machine lever, and pray that at least one will come up 3 cherry blossoms. But you can't get lax, because at any moment, a stream can die. Or at the very least, lag every 3 seconds. Or cut away to a Japanese TV show rerun that looks like it was produced in 1984. This usually causes some type of swearing at your computer screen. What the twizzle? Yuzu is skating right now! I think Fanyus would be really great television directors. Cut to stream 1, go back to stream 3, now 2, now 1, go! 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 First, you have the stream of the backstage area. So you watch Yuzu off in a corner as he walks through his program in an outfit that simply elicits the one-word clone me text of T-shirt! Then he rolls up his mat and walks past the camera, and it's time to switch to the next stream. After the competition, You cut to a different backstage stream to try to catch him being interviewed. It's literally like chasing him down the hallway, yet you don't feel like quite as much of a stalker. Despite the fact that doing it in your pajamas from the comfort of your own home somehow feels a little creepier, because at least he has the fighting chance to run from you if he knew you were actually there following him in your pajamas. A recent backstage stream added the option for you to move the camera yourself. I don't think the Fanyus can handle this type of freedom of technology. We could actually look back and forth as Yuzu paced in front of the camera. I don't know if Yuzu was fully aware that this technology was in use while he was warming up, though I tend to believe that Yuzu knows exactly what is going on in his orbit at all times. But it eventually got to the point that it felt like he was messing with us. He would walk toward the camera, closer, closer. Okay, time to shift the camera a little in front of him to catch him, when, just kidding, he would take a sharp U-turn and go back the other direction. Once he started sprinting back and forth, it felt like you had advanced to the next level of the video game, and if you didn't keep Yuzu in the shot, you were going to be met with a sad wah wah wah, and game over flashed up on the screen. You loser. Own biggest fan. It seems trivial, but one of the strongest attributes of the Fanyu is the confidence that your calculations and sources are correct. From the moment Yuzu arrives for the competition, you live in a perpetual state of, did I figure that right? Am I missing something? How am I going to mess this up? You're afraid to go out into the world to accomplish anything. You're afraid to turn off your VPN. You're afraid to go to sleep. Setting alarms isn't good enough. You need to be consistently plugged into the Fanyu hive mind. It's almost as if you think there's going to be an announcement. Yuzu decided he wanted to go home early, so we're going to skate the free program 8 hours ahead of schedule. Surprise! Deep down, you know they won't change the schedule that drastically, but what if you didn't carry the 1 when you were doing your time conversion? Or what if you put the date on the calendar wrong? Best not to blink. Or at the very least, if you do, it has to be a quick blink, not a long one like pre-Chopin ballad number 1. Ultimately, you just have to squeeze Pooh-san's face and hope it all comes out all right. He trusts you. Mind reader. Even once the official schedule is made clear and you've done all your conversions and link saving, there is one critical component that can throw a curveball. Yuzu. And we all know how much Yuzu likes Hyaku. When will Yuzu arrive at the venue? Will he go to the draw or use a proxy? Will he be at the first practice? Heck, sometimes it is mere days before the competition happens before you even know if he'll be there at all. Japan Nationals 2021. And when it comes to guessing what Yuzu will do, there is no formula. This is why I now know how to recognize the words for where and when in many languages, thanks to the chat threads, which gradually build in the frequency of these words streaming in from all around the world with the name Yuzu before or after them. The closer you get to the competition starting, the more the number of question and exclamation marks increase. Once you've rounded to the crying emojis, you know someone didn't get their VPN set up in advance. We've all been there, especially when Yuzu isn't. Archivist. So you saw the draw, the practices, the competition, the press conferences, and the exhibition. Omedetou! But did you really see it all? And most importantly, how can you see it again and again? And again. Enter the YouTube playlist. But as we've discussed, YouTube can be a 2-bit tease. 1 second the video is there, the next second you're staring at the dreaded 3-dot gray square. Nothing sinks a heart quite like that icon. Translation: there was a video that you loved. It is now gone, but good luck guessing which one it was. Enter screen grab. The only guarantee that the video of Yuzu saying he sometimes wears his Olympic medals around the house for no reason will be with you forever. But let me tell you, this is a dangerous rabbit hole. Because once you've screen grabbed one, you start to feel the need to screen grab them all. And then before you know it, you're getting out of bed in the middle of the night because a new slow-mo angle of blinding lights has been posted, and that is some serious necessary content. Serious. Sure, that one video has been on YouTube for 8 years without ever getting taken down, but suddenly you're convinced it's going to be taken down immediately and lost forever. Let's face it, it's not over until the external hard drive is full. So excuse me while I go screen grab a clip from 2012 of a blindfolded Yuzu busting a watermelon in half with a giant stick, because it could be gone in a non-Chopin blink of the eye.
完成です。
Seeing as we Fanyus are worldwide, despite all the misconceptions that we're only in certain countries, please! I know we're getting ready to celebrate a wide variety of holidays, but no matter which holiday you're getting ready to celebrate, I know we all want the same thing. It's Christmas time here for FanyuFanme, and all I want is a happy, healthy Yuzu. So Santa, see if you've got a fully healed ankle in your sack, because it's in high demand this year. We're going to see Yuzu soon! Sorry, had just one more left in me. If you're sipping your Ghana hot chocolate and spending time online during the holidays, throw some Zunda on top of that whipped cream and come visit FanyuFanme on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Redbubble, or FanyuFanme.com. Until next time, say it with me, Yuzuru Hanyu. And happy Merry Christmas! I hope we all, including Yuzu, get exactly what we dream of. We're going to see Yuzu soon! Okay, maybe I had 2 left in me. The FanyuFanme podcast is a Back to the Forest production.
Back to the forest? Just kidding.